On over here on the steering wheel controls, these are much like the current Expedition and F-150. In fact, all our steering wheel controls for our larger vehicles are soon enough going to have this exact layout here. So on the right side, we've got the menu tab, up and down, and the OK. We've also got a back button here, as well as answer and hang up on a phone call, and then skip left and right track for your infotainment system. On the left side of the steering wheel, we have our adaptive cruise control with our lane keeping system, which is also the same button for the hands-free lane centering button. So while we're not in adaptive cruise control, if we have that selected, we'll have that lane keeping system. So if I lean outside of my lane, it'll pull me back in or vibrate the steering wheel in the form of an alert. So I have my push to talk button on below that. Now that will integrate with the Ford system here, talking to Ford. And like I mentioned before, you can put in a Ford command and then just not push any buttons and just speak freely. Just like I have Siri currently connected, but I don't have it on Hey Siri. If you're on Android, you can say, okay, Google. But if you don't have any of those features enabled, you can just then hold this button for a few seconds. You will talk to your supported device on this main screen. To the left, I have the volume up and then the volume down and then the cruise control button. This would be my set button when I get to the speed that I would like to be at. This is the cancel and or resume button. So if I needed to cancel for whatever reason while I'm in hands-free driving, I can tap that button or tap the brake. And then if I need to resume, I can quickly just click that button again and it will resume me back to the speed that I had currently set. Now this minus set button, it will remove some speed and the positive will add some speed. So as the highway speeds increase, of course we can put it on speed sign recognition, but if we don't want to, we can just simply tap this button and increase speed accordingly. All right, folks, so on the instrument cluster, I'm currently in accessory power and it's showing me that I have 193 miles of range. I'm at 69%, currently under one pedal drive. My headlights are currently set up to automatic. Currently in park, it is 74 degrees inside this beautiful building at Haik Ford. Southwest direction is where I'm heading, and the vehicle has 160 miles on it. So I'm gonna go ahead and put my foot on the brake and hit the start button. It's gonna give us this lovely view here, which also shows my range as well. And a few other things. So if I now click on the menu button, I can look at my view, I can look at trip. So under my view, it's this. If I click the down button, this is one of the ones that I have pre-saved. I can click and hold the OK button to reset that trip. I can go down and down again. I've got tire pressure here showing 37, 37, 36, and 38, excuse me. Click down again and I'm back to the configure my view. So if I click OK, I can add a calm screen to this. I can do this trip, which is already pre-selected. I can show seatbelts, pitch and roll, power distribution. So that's showing what tires are putting down power and which ones are losing traction. I can look at the trailer's tire info as we talked about earlier, and I can do a trailer light status check also from here. But I'm not gonna add those at this time. So I'm just gonna go ahead and click back, or I'm gonna click the menu button, click my view. I'm gonna go down and now I'll be able to see those views. So calm, trip, this trip, tire pressure, seat belts, no one's buckled in, pitch and roll 0, 0, 0. And then I'm showing power distribution. So it's showing power over charge. So this view is actually really cool to drive in. As you're applying the brakes and using your regenerative braking, it's showing you that you're charging. And then when you're driving and you're putting your foot on the accelerator, it's actually showing you how much power usage you're using. So pretty cool view to have on here. I'm glad Ford put that in there. Going back to the menu button, we've already kind of discussed trip. And so I can click into this one and I'm gonna click on driver's assistance, and I can see the views are pretty much the same as my view, but they're just under trip. And currently I'm not in drive, so I'm not showing any driver's assistance. So I'm gonna go back to menu, I'm gonna go back to truck information. So I can look from here, I can look at, looks to be the same setup, sadly. Not much information there. Towing, I can look at towing information, and I can look at my trailer tire information. I can look at the trailer light status. I can look at my towing status and the driver's assistance associated with all those. Of course, I'm not towing at this time, so that one's really not going to do me any good currently. My navigation system, if I click on that, I can navigate to home. I can navigate to previous destinations. I can have favorites set up in here. And of course, I've got favorites, and then also I can go to places of interest. Going on down, I've got phone, I've got audio, and I've got other settings. So click on other settings. If I want to change the speedo, I can. If I want to look at the braking coach, I can. If I want to look at the EV driving history, I certainly can do that as well. So some useful tips in here. Most of the information is going to be in your center stack.